God bless you, everybody. Good morning. He's been there. He's been there. Our devotional text comes out of the book of Hebrews, chapter 4, verses 15 and 16. Reading from the Amplified Bible, the word of the Lord tells us, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to understand and sympathize and have a shared feeling with our weaknesses and infirmities and liability to the assaults of temptation, but one who has been tempted in every respect as we are, yet without sinning. Let us then fearlessly and confidently and boldly draw near to the throne of grace, the throne of God's unmerited favor to us sinners, that we may receive mercy for our failures and find grace to help in good time for every need, appropriate help and well-timed help, coming just when we need it." The New Revised Standard Version says, "For we do not have a high priest who is unable to sympathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who in every respect has been tested, as we are, yet without sin. Let us therefore approach the throne of grace with boldness, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help in the time of need." Wow. Wow. The Message Bible says, we don't have a priest who is out of touch with our reality. He's been through weakness and testing, experienced it all but the sin. So let's walk right up to him and get what he is so ready to give. Take the mercy, accept the help. And I want to encourage somebody that he's been there. Who's been there? Jesus has been there. Jesus, he went through the weaknesses. He went through the testing, but even Jesus had to get refilled and recharged when he was weak. Because Jesus will pour out and pour out to where every time Jesus healed, preached, taught, Jesus went to a deserted place to pray so that he can get refreshed, recharged, and renewed. You know, Jesus, he's been there for us when we was going through what we was going through. Jesus went through people talking bad about him, mistreating him, calling what he was doing a lie, calling what he was doing blasphemy, because many people couldn't handle the truth. And I tell you, the saints of the Most High God, the main reason why people cannot handle the truth and cannot accept the truth is because they cannot handle the conviction. God knows what's going on. God understands every weakness. He understands every... Y'all ain't hearing me. God understands all. He understands our weaknesses. He understands, how we're feeling. And the thing is that Jesus, coming as God in human form, he went through the heartache. He's been through every stress and strain and know how they weaken us. And the thing is that Jesus didn't let nobody drain him. And so every time he ministered, once he was done, he had to pray so that he can get ready to do the next thing. People may not know how you feel. People may not understand how you feel or what you're going through. But God does, because he's been there. God gets it, y'all. Even when your plans are interrupted by other people's plans, trust and believe. God's been there. When you have reached your limit with what you're getting ready to, when you want to just pop off, he's been there. But the thing is that even when Jesus was tested by the enemy, how he was able to overcome is because he spoke the word of God. You got to have, because the thing is, you got to have God, you got to have the armor of God, and you got to have the word of God. And it is important because many of us, we tend to say, oh God, you didn't go through what I go through. You didn't face what I face. Yes, he did. Look what he had to go through so that we can be free, so that we can be whole. Look what he had to go through so that we wouldn't have to face the death penalty. Look what he went through so that we can have abundant life. Look what Jesus had to go through so that we can have strong faith. So that we can have faith, so that we can be delivered, so that we can be Christ-like, and knowing that Jesus is at the center. Jesus faced everything and still did not sin. But then encourages us to let us approach the throne of grace. Before you get to your phone, you better get to the throne. Put your phone down, put your computer down, put your iPad down, put all electronics down. And get to the throne of grace. And get to God. What Jesus went through encourages us that we need him in order to make it through what we're going through. What Jesus experienced, he didn't lose his temper. He didn't throw in the towel. And it got to a point where Jesus couldn't handle it. So he said, Father, remove this cup from me, not my will, but your will be done. And let me clarify that Jesus could handle. And we see here that Jesus was just burnt out and his sweat became like drips of blood. Well, not burned out, but Jesus was pouring out and pouring out. And he said, Father, this is too much for me to handle. Jesus could not handle it on his own, which was why he always reached out to God. So let me clarify several things. Jesus could not handle everything on his own. Every time Jesus was burned out or empty, he went back so that he can get refilled, so that he can continue on. So know that God's been there. He went through it, and even as we go through it, God is going through it with us.